Alright, guys, it's time for Fairy Tail, Chapter 446.
Whoop whoop! Fairy tale.
Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail. So, this was. Wow. Wow.
I thought it was an awesome chapter.
It was surprisingly quite very good.
Yep. We had we started off with the very touching moment with Makarov, reuniting with the gang, and then he informs everyone that yes, Emperor Springen is actually Zeref, which is surprising to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're like, okay, we gotta go. And thankfully, Mess, teleportation powers, that are super, super convenient. It's like, oh, I've used up so much energy that we have to get to this certain point in order for me to teleport back to Angel on the ship.
Right.
So now they trying to get there. They get attacked by Aegil, which, surprise, surprise, Aegil of the desert has sand magic. What a surprise!
Yeah. Didn't see that one coming.
Of course, it was surprising at least to see that they have a someone who's, I guess you could almost say, is a sand Logia, if you catch my drift. Because there's a lot of with magic in this series. There's obviously a lot. They often obviously deal with a lot of elements, but
Yeah.
it's very few and far between when we see someone actually be like a Logia in One Piece, where their body is made up of the element.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only other one I can think of is off the top of my head is Juvia.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's which, speaking of which, is since this guy's sand, and we know a lot. If you've seen as much anime as we have or more, you know that more often than not, the sand person ends up getting beaten by water. So
Yeah.
most likely Mashima is setting up a fight between Juvia and Aegil later down the road. At that point where the fights actually matter and they're going to be one-on-one and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Yeah.
but for now they just have to hold them off until they get close enough. And lo and
Right.
behold, Makarov's like, "No, you can't beat him." But guess what? You were only thinking of them at their powers a year ago. So guess what they had to do to prove you wrong? Show off their skills.
Yeah.
And I I mean, all of the characters this chapter deserved props,
Mm-hmm.
but by God, I think hands down the number one props of the week has to go to Gray and his
Abso-fucking-lutely.
brand new attack, Ice Make Silver.
Silver. Yep, he named an attack after his dad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was pretty much his dad's attack, but
Yeah.
the point
So, well, it was
is that,
Sub-Zero, but yeah. Yeah.
which is funny that he's using his Ice Devil Slayer powers, but he's still referring to it as Ice Make Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying like Devil Slayers, slaying
Right.
Sub-Zero or Silver or some, like not like the demon, or should I say the God Slayers and the Dragon Slayers do with their slaying magic.
Right.
But then again, he's gray, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants because he's gray.
Yep.
And then we get the unveiling once again of a new star dress for Lucy, the Sagittarius form, which rocked ass.
Yeah. That was
Like,
awesome.
I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting her to be used light arrows or energy arrows.
What is this, Zelda?
Yeah, I mean, I figured she'd be, like freaking have a quill on her back and have to, shoot actual arrows, but no. She gets to shoot magical, arrows of light,
Yep.
which is cool, I guess, especially since we just saw like a couple pages before that he can apparently disintegrate weapons because he saw the swords that Urzith, stuck in his body got disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing he can, like, I don't know exactly how they're gonna explain that particular ability, but that's the first thing that obviously will come to mind to me as Crocodile from One Piece and how he can just pull the moisture out of things to the point of turning it into sand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm assuming
And
it's a type of weathering, just an extreme type of weathering.
yeah, and then just when we thought we got him, he does some, like, basically does a sand pit where
Mm-hmm.
and tries to just basically kill him that way. Just like, okay, put him in a sand pit, they're not gonna get out.
They
But
were
he
about
forgot
to
who
become
he.
desert doo-doo. Oh my gosh, that was an old 4Kids joke. Never mind.
But needless to say, Natsu's like, no, this is fairy tale. We're not supposed to die. Power of friendship, activate. Form of an explosion.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming Natsu, of course, was the one causing the explosion that blew away all the sand.
of course it was.
But I do have to give props for the badass, like, but really unnecessary burning off of the Kath shelter symbols to reveal their fairy tale symbols.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cool, but was it really necessary?
Um, no, not necessarily, no.
I don't know. But and then Natsu gets in a hit on Ajil.
Mm-hmm. Which I do have to comment on that because there was no, like, a lot of times if there's like blitz, there's a reaction sign, like the exclamation mark. There was not here, so my initial thought is he just tanked the attack on purpose. Um,
Probably. Because remember, they are under the impression that they're unbeatable.
right,
And I think that, because next week's chapter is called Escape Battle. So obviously, they're going to be fighting with Ajil some more. Possibly one or more Spriggan 12 members will show up to help fight. But it'll just, basically be that. Them fighting off their opponents until they get close enough to teleport away.
right.
And then, but I think this will be what's going to be most interesting about this battle in the next chapter is I think that Fairy Tail is going to showcase that they actually do have the power to do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to really piss them off. And most likely what's going to happen is that they're going to all regroup back at Fairy Tail, or should I say back at the Guild Hall.
Right.
Possibly. Not necessarily, or just regroup somewhere back in Ishgar where they'll end up meeting up with Fairy Tail Team B,
Yeah.
who will have Loxus with them.
Whether or not we'll see it, I guess we'll have to find out. But
Well, no, we'll have Loxus with. No, I don't think we're gonna actually see what was going on with Loxus.
yeah,
They're
same.
just gonna they're just gonna show up with Loxus in tow,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna find Fairy Tail Team A is gonna hear that Loxus and the Thunder Legion were a part of Blue Pegasus, and then they're probably gonna have the same fantasy about Loxus,
Mm-hmm.
imagining him being a part of the group. And then
Right.
there's gonna be some, freaking pissed off Loxus gonna make a comment or not try to intimidate Natsu. Natsu's gonna intimidate back, and then Makaral's gonna have to, as usual, gonna have to break things up.
Mm-hmm.
Only question is, how is it gonna proceed from there? Are they going to then re-attempt to just, what are they going to do? Because they've already rescued Makarov, so are they going to just then, since they've pretty much declared war on Alvarez, are they going to just go back to Alvarez and be like, okay, let's fuck shit up, or are they gonna wait for them to come to Fairy Tale?
Hmm. That's a good question. I think probably an invasion on uh probably Albereth will probably invade and probably go into Ishgard, and I think that's more likely.
I believe that more so because first of all, they have no just even though they know that Emperor Spriggan is Zeref, they don't actually have a reason to go after him.
Right.
Like, I mean, yes, sort of Gray sort of does because he's wants to go after the book end, and Zeref has it, but he's not going to just go after it because because it's just there just doesn't make any sense. There's just nothing outright that says, oh, they have to go to Alvarez again.
Right.
So it's going to be more of an invasion because then also you can see like he'll be able to do like random shots of like other characters, like secondary and minor characters, and how they're dealing with this invasion. Plus, you'll be able to incorporate the other guilds of Ishgard.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Yeah, we'll see
which could
Leon
easily,
again. Yeah, all those people.
yeah, and which would easily, and I mean easily, give an excuse to really extend things out by showcasing a lot of different characters doing various things, you know, from to combat an invasion force. To
Yeah.
showcase, oh yeah, we've gotten much stronger since they attacked us last time. So we're gonna push them off with our own power.
Yeah, not to mention if the battle's on Ishgard, it's gonna give a perfect excuse for a certain OP somebody to make a final appearance and hopefully go all
Yeah, we
out.
hope. Remember, he's traveling all over the place. For all you know, he could be in friggin' Alvarez. For all we know,
Yeah.
friggin' hitting on women.
If you don't know who we're talking about, well, then suffer, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's guild. It's guild arts.
You ruined the surprise. No, you guys should all know who we're talking about by now, but
There's only one person, wandering nomadic wizard related to Fairy Tale, who's super OP and hits on women.
and has yet to go all out.
Of course. So it's definitely going to be interesting. And so the one, from what I've seen, people are supposedly interested in Natsu's bandaged up arm, and said that it was teased again because when he saw a Ajil, he like grabbed his arm or something. And I'm like, is that supposed like what could possibly be going on with his arm? I
I
mean,
don't know.
it's just bandaged up. I mean,
Hmm.
the giving constant reason for the character to go back to it doesn't really make it seem mysterious.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess I mean I guess I'm only intrigued just because I want to see proof. I mean, yes, it's intriguing to the point of like it's not like super intriguing. It's like it's kind of weird. It's like I don't really give a fuck, but the fact that they're waving it in my face, and I'm like, okay, just fucking show it to me so we can get it over with and move on to something better.
Right.
Because this isn't friggin' Oda who friggin' can foreshadow anything. Little thing could be foreshadowing for something epic.
Right.
This is freaking Mashima we're talking about. I mean, at best, maybe if we're lucky, it might have something to do with his END powers, maybe.
Hmm.
But that's the best we can hope for. I mean, what else could it be other than just an injury he got during training?
Right.
I mean, I know we're supposedly getting that movie. What was it, this year or something, about Natsu being dragonized or something? But
Yeah.
that's the movie. It's not the movie. Isn't going to be canon,
Hmm.
so it shouldn't be affecting the manga at all.
Right.
or at least I hope it's
Mm.
not.
Yeah, I would prefer not, but you never know.
Especially since we don't even know how ridiculous the plot of that movie is going to be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, the plot of the movie, Natsu being dragonized, is kind of like a slap into the face to the dragons.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, that was the whole point of doing what they did,
Right, was to
was
keep them
so
from.
that way
Yeah.
being dragonized. So it's kind of like counterproductive.
Right.
But anyway, in terms of this chapter, it's doesn't really matter because it's like I said, it's either an an injury he got during the training, or it's some sort of sign that his END powers are showing up, possibly,
Hmm.
maybe, if we're lucky.
Right.
One other thing I want to point out is a little funny moment was when Makarov sees Charla in her humanoid form, and he's like, "Who are you?"
Right. I thought that was funny too. Yeah.
But so overall, I thought this chapter was a fairly good chapter.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of feels, some action, some great action that showcased the skills of the increase in skill of Gray and Natsu and Lucy without doing the whole bullshit one-shotting a god,
Yeah.
because that was a load of bullshit. But this at least allowed them to showcase their abilities without being like it being some bullshit.
Yeah. Without being ridiculous.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is a very good chapter. So. Yeah.
Of course, now I'm trying to think to myself, how many more star dresses do we still have left yet to see?
Well, we still have the crab. Um. We still
Cancer.
we saw Loki. We now saw Sagittarius, and we saw Taurus.
I thought we saw Virgo, or did we not?
Um. I don't. I don't think we
Yes,
saw
we
Virgo.
did, because remember
Did we?
they used it to dig into the Avatar headquarters.
Ah, yes.
And
Um.
then after that, I think it was, and then of course, obviously in the Taurus arc, we got to see Aquarius star dress,
Hmm.
which I still believe at some point she's gonna reacquire Aquarius's key, because she said it herself. The key will eventually reform on planet Earth
Hmm.
somewhere. So that's gonna be a plot line that's gonna be resolved
Yeah.
probably in the
We still have Capricorn, Aries.
Aries. No, yeah, think about it. Yeah, because and besides, we we still don't know like if she's ever gonna actually try. I still think that at some point she's gonna find there's gonna be a reason created as to why she's gonna accept the final two gold keys,
Hmm.
because it's pretty much been foreshadowed the entire series that she's gonna have them all.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely be interesting to see like the Liber and Piscus forms.
And then there's
Oh yeah,
Gemini.
of course. But yeah, but Gemini's power is transformation. So what? Will she use it to transform in the friggin'? I don't know.
She could use it for. I guess she could use it for infiltration or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't see it using for actual battle, but more like infiltration and finding out information and whatnot.
Right.
So it's definitely going to be one interesting. This is definitely shaping up to be a very interesting arc.
Hmm.
Not only from the story, but points, but also because unlike certain other series, this he seems to be taking his time with showcasing some of the new abilities after a post time skip.
Right.
Because not some series will like try to showcase you how much they've all their new abilities as soon as possible, or should I say most of them as soon as possible, and then save maybe 1 or 2 new abilities for like the next arc or 2 arcs down. You know, so it's definitely I like that because it's just I think it adds more because it showcases that okay, these guys are a threat because now they're starting to showcase some of their abilities, but they're not so much. They're not like he's not gonna forcibly quickly go through this arc, so let them, which is something he would do, or if he was trying to go super fast paced, he would have showcased a large portion of their abilities already.
Right.
Which he hasn't. So we know 2 things. 1, he's not gonna. He's in time with this arc, and 2, they're a big enough threat that they are going to probably be going all out by the end of this arc.
Yeah.
Which I love because it sometimes takes a while for them to go all out after time skips.
One Piece. Oh, did I say that out loud?
I still don't think Luffy's gone all out yet. Well, no, there's other ones too, like a lot of series.
Yeah, but I think One Piece is like the biggest defender so far, at least for right now.
Yeah. So, I think that's pretty much it. All I have to say.
Yeah.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and hope to see you all next time.